A bitter dispute over land. In the quiet suburbs of Willow Creek, tensions simmered beneath the surface as the Homeowners Association, HOA, waged a relentless campaign against Sarah Thompson. The conflict began when the HOA approached Sarah with an offer to purchase her sprawling property, nestled at the heart of the community. Known for her dairy farm that supplied fresh milk to local markets, Sarah had inherited the land from her late parents and cherished it not just as real estate but as a legacy. However, the HOA saw her refusal to sell as a roadblock to their ambitious expansion plans, which included building luxury condos that promised higher profits. Sarah's resistance was rooted in more than sentiment. She feared the environmental impact and loss of community character that such development would bring. Her refusal led to escalating pressure tactics from the HOA, including threats of legal action and attempts to impose exorbitant fines for minor infractions on her property. Despite these pressures, Sarah stood firm, bolstered by her belief in sustainable farming and her commitment to preserving her family's legacy. As months turned into years, the dispute only grew more venomous, setting the stage for a dramatic showdown that neither side could have anticipated. The sinister turn of events. The situation took a dark turn one fateful morning when Sarah discovered something unsettling about her milk supply. It started with complaints from her regular customers, who reported a strange taste in the milk they had purchased. Initially dismissing these as isolated incidents, Sarah soon noticed patterns: more frequent customer returns, unusual discoloration in her tanks, and finally, lab reports that confirmed her worst fears: her milk was contaminated with harmful substances. Panic set in as Sarah realized the implications. Not only was her business at risk, but the health of her loyal customers could be compromised. Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah meticulously retraced her steps, examining every part of her operation from milking to storage. The contamination seemed deliberate, occurring despite stringent hygiene protocols and routine equipment checks. Suspicion naturally fell on the HOA, given their aggressive stance and vested interest in acquiring her land. Was this sabotage their latest tactic? The thought was chilling yet plausible, considering the lengths they had already gone to in pressuring her. With mounting evidence pointing towards foul play and the stakes higher than ever, Sarah knew she needed to act swiftly to protect her livelihood and expose those responsible before more harm could be done. Uncovering the evidence. As Sarah delved deeper into the mystery surrounding her milk contamination, she began piecing together a trail of clues that pointed ominously back to the HOA. Her investigation started in the early hours of the morning, long before the sun rose over Willow Creek. She revisited her dairy operations, examining each step from milking to processing, searching for any anomaly or breach in protocol. What she found was startling: a series of small, almost imperceptible tampering signs around her storage tanks. The security cameras she had installed captured fleeting shadows moving near the tanks during the night, figures that were too vague to identify but whose presence was undeniably suspicious. Further examination revealed traces of unfamiliar substances on the tank lids, substances that were not part of her usual cleaning or maintenance routines. Convinced that these findings warranted professional scrutiny, Sarah sent samples to an independent lab. The results confirmed her suspicions. The milk had been deliberately poisoned with chemicals that mimicked natural spoilage, making the sabotage appear accidental. Armed with this concrete evidence, Sarah compiled a detailed report, correlating the lab findings with the camera footage and her operational logs. Her next step was to approach the authorities. She filed a formal complaint with the local police department, presenting them with her meticulously gathered evidence. However, aware that local law enforcement might be influenced by the powerful HOA, Sarah decided to escalate the matter further. She reached out to a renowned investigative journalist known for exposing corporate malfeasance. The journalist agreed to look into the case, promising to use his resources to dig deeper into the HOA's activities and connections. With each piece of evidence adding weight to her claims, Sarah felt a mixture of fear and determination. The realization that her adversaries might stoop to such dangerous lengths was terrifying, but it also fueled her resolve to fight back. She knew that bringing this evidence to light was not just about saving her business, it was about standing up against corruption and protecting her community from being bullied by those in power. As she prepared to face whatever consequences might come, Sarah held on to the hope that justice would prevail, and the truth would eventually come out. The FBI steps in. The involvement of the FBI marked a pivotal escalation in the unfolding drama at Willow Creek. Agents arrived unannounced at the HOA headquarters, their presence casting a shadow of authority and urgency over the once tranquil neighborhood. Clad in crisp suits and armed with search warrants, the agents swarmed the office buildings, seizing documents, computers, and financial records. The sight of federal officers rifling through files and questioning staff members sent shockwaves through the community, transforming curious whispers into palpable tension. Residents gathered outside, watching with a mix of disbelief and intrigue as the scene unfolded. Some expressed relief that the heavy-handed tactics of the HOA were finally being scrutinized, while others feared the potential repercussions on property values and community relations. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. HOA executives were visibly shaken, their usual composure replaced by anxious glances and hurried consultations with legal advisors. The agents' methodical approach left little room for evasion, as they meticulously documented potential links between the HOA and the contamination of Sarah's milk tanks. This high-stakes intervention not only heightened the stakes of the ongoing conflict but also underscored the gravity of the allegations against the HOA. For Sarah, the arrival of the FBI represented a crucial turning point, a beacon of hope that justice might be served, and vindication for her relentless pursuit of truth was within reach. The community, now thrust into the national spotlight, braced itself for the revelations that were sure to follow, as the once peaceful suburb became the epicenter of a scandal involving corruption, intimidation, and environmental sabotage. A community divided. As news of the FBI's investigation spread throughout Willow Creek, the community found itself fractured along lines of loyalty and suspicion. Long-standing friendships were tested, and neighbors eyed each other warily, wondering who among them might have been complicit in the HOA's alleged schemes. At the heart of this turmoil was Sarah, who became both a figure of admiration and contention. Some residents rallied behind her, applauding her courage and resilience in the face of adversity. They organized support groups and fundraisers to help cover her legal expenses, viewing her battle as a stand against the unchecked power of the HOA. However, not everyone shared this perspective. A vocal faction believed that Sarah's refusal to sell her land was selfish and detrimental to the community's growth and prosperity. They argued that the proposed developments could bring much-needed economic benefits, and some even suggested that Sarah's accusations against the HOA were exaggerated or fabricated. This division created a palpable tension in the air, evident in heated town hall meetings and online forums where tempers flared and accusations flew. Amidst this discord, Sarah remained steadfast, driven by a deep-seated belief in justice and a desire to protect her family's legacy. Her interactions with the community became a delicate balancing act. She sought to maintain civility and open dialogue, even as she navigated the complex web of alliances and animosities. Sarah's unwavering commitment to transparency and truth became a rallying cry for those who supported her cause, inspiring a renewed sense of vigilance and activism among the residents of Willow Creek. Despite the challenges, her resolve never wavered, reflecting a profound understanding that the fight was not just about her land, but about the principles of fairness and integrity that defined their community. Justice prevails amidst turmoil. The climax of the saga came swiftly after weeks of intense investigation. The FBI unveiled a trove of incriminating evidence that unequivocally linked several high-ranking HOA officials to the sabotage of Sarah's milk tanks. Emails, financial transactions, and recorded conversations painted a damning picture of a calculated plot motivated by greed and desperation to acquire Sarah's land. The revelation sent shockwaves through Willow Creek, as the community grappled with the betrayal orchestrated by individuals entrusted with its governance. Legal proceedings followed in rapid succession. The implicated HOA members were arrested, their reputations irreparably tarnished. Charges ranged from conspiracy and environmental violations to attempted economic sabotage. The courtroom drama captivated the nation, shedding light on the often overlooked power dynamics within homeowners associations and prompting calls for greater oversight and accountability. Meanwhile, Sarah emerged as a symbol of resilience and justice, her unwavering determination having exposed a corrupt system and restored faith in the possibility of fair outcomes. For Willow Creek, the aftermath brought both healing and transformation. The HOA was dissolved, replaced by a democratically elected community council committed to transparency and inclusivity. Residents, inspired by Sarah's courage, became more engaged in local governance, ensuring that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated. Sarah herself returned to her dairy farm, her spirit unbroken, knowing that her fight had not only saved her family's legacy but also strengthened the bonds of trust and solidarity within her community.